Are you struggling to decide if you should hire a copywriter for your next course launch? What if I told you that a lot of sales pages don't need a rewrite? They just need the right strategy to sell. Hi, my name is Nicola and I specialize in helping course creators craft $100,000 offers that sell more, create boomerang buyers, and build a business that actually lasts. And in this video, I am going to tell you why you don't always need a copywriter upfront and how to DIY your launch successfully before getting expert help. If you want a step-by-step checklist to optimize your course on your own, stick around until the end and I will share a free resource with you. Now, a lot of times when I work with clients, I often hear from them, oh, I just want you to rewrite my sales page, or they'll say, my sales page isn't converting. Because 9 times out of 10, what actually happens is that people launch, the offer doesn't sell as well as they want, or they don't quite hit their revenue goals. And so what they do is they blame the sales page, they'll blame the copy. Now, when I come to work with them, I always look at metrics first when it comes to working on courses because numbers never lie. And actually, I remember a couple of years ago when I had a client come to me and say, Nick, the sales page didn't convert on the last launch and I would really like for you to rewrite it. And I said, okay, let's see what's going on. The sales page, when I looked at the stats, the sales page was converting at around 5%, which is pretty bloody good, okay? And I actually want you to be aiming for around 3 to 5% yourself. So this course creator didn't hit their revenue goal that they'd set. They didn't get the number of students that they wanted to enroll in their course, and they blamed the sales page. And it really is an easy blame to make, and a lot of the time it can be the sales page. But I want you to think even deeper. If the problem isn't the copy, a lot of times it means that the offer is actually the problem. And whenever it comes to diagnosing issues within funnels or course launches, we always start at the beginning. So when it comes to marketing, you think of audience, then your offer, and then the copy. So the copy is actually the last thing. And by virtue of that, that means that the copy usually isn't the problem because that is based on the other two things, the audience and the offer, and you have to get those two right before you can then write copy and messaging that converts. Now, you absolutely can DIY your course launch if you understand how to optimize your offer. Now, when it comes to marketing, I said that the order of importance is audience, offer, and copy. Now, I'm going to presume that you are targeting the right audience. You know your audience pretty well, and you know who's on your email list. So I'm going to presume that you are targeting the right person, and that means that we have to focus on the offer. When it comes to optimizing your offer, your course, I want you to think about 3 things. That is your promise, your proof, and your precision. Now, I won't go into them too deeply in this video, but when we think about promise, I want you to think, is your program promise, is it achievable, believable, and measurable? Do you have proof from people who have taken your program and at least 3 testimonials or case studies that actively back up the program promise that your course is making? If you do not have that, you either need to get better proof or you need to update your program promise. When it comes to selling in 2025, we really need to be thinking about how we can make our offers really irresistible for the audience and how we can make them solve a problem that the audience has. And that's what your program promise needs to do. Then you also need to think about precision. Do you have the correct bonuses? Are they easy to implement? Are they pushing people to progress faster in your program? Do you have the right scarcity and urgency in the program? Have you resolved your mousetrap? The mousetrap is what I call the sticky point in your course. These are the 3 things that you really need to be thinking about when it comes to optimizing your offer. And what it actually means is that you don't need to be, because you're probably thinking right now, oh my gosh, I need to start my course from scratch. No, you do not. If you've already got students inside the course, then it shows that something in the marketing and the offer is actually working. So we're just going to start from the beginning, optimize what you've already got. You do not need to start from scratch and you do not need to be scrapping the whole thing. Optimize it and see if sales actually increase. And a quick question as well, let me know in the comments below if you've ever hired a copywriter and what was your experience with that copywriter. The next step that it comes to when actually DIYing your launch, and this goes back to the story that I shared earlier, that is actually understanding your numbers. I know numbers can be scary, but it really does empower you to be making the right decisions in your launches and in your business. When it comes to funnels, if the offer is actually selling and the conversion rate on the sales page is down, then that means maybe you do need to hire a copywriter and fix the copy. But unless you know your numbers, you're not going to be able to make the right informed decision for you, for your business, and for your funnel. So understand your metrics, and then you're able to know what the right next step is for you. And when it comes to understanding metrics, I know there are a lot of industry averages that are shared out there. I highly encourage you to not base your launch on the industry averages. Things change so much, and everybody's got a different business, different audience, different offer. What I want you to do is compare your own numbers to yourself only. And if you haven't launched before, maybe you can look at previous emails that you've sent out, previous newsletters, your welcome sequence, for example, and compare your metrics to them. You should always be trying to do better than your last launch, and you should only be comparing to your own metrics. Do not listen to what anybody else is doing, okay? They have huge teams, massive ad spend. They have a lot of time to be working on these funnels, and they've launched them repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly, which is why, big course creators like Amy Porterfield, they are able to get such high launch revenue numbers because they've launched so many times and they have such a huge audience, and they also spend a ton on paid advertising. Okay, so remember that. Do not compare yourself with some of the industry giants and feel like you are left behind. So hiring a copywriter can actually be a great investment, but only when you have solid proof that your offer is converting. These students are actually buying your other offers. And the reason I say that is very important. If you have people who are buying your current offer, but they're not buying anything else that you want, and they're not referring you, they're not leaving you good testimonials, then what that means is that your copy was probably working to bring them in and get them to buy. But the offer itself wasn't actually working to help keep them in your ecosystem and help them to buy something else. And it probably didn't help them to achieve the program promise that you've promised them, and they probably didn't get the transformation that they wanted. If these things are going ahead for you, what I want you to do is send a survey out to your students, asking them all these things. Did you meet the program promise? Have you gotten the result that you wanted? And see what they're saying. If they're saying no, then you will need to retweak your offer and retweak your course. And I highly recommend you doing this. It's a really simple process, but it can give you so much intelligence in terms of what is going on with your students. If they do say that yes, they hit their program promise and they got the transformation that they wanted, but they're still not buying anything else, ask them what they want to hear from you. What kind of things do they want to see from you? What other problems do they have that they want solving? And see if you have anything that can help meet that need for your audience. So that is my checklist on why you do not need to hire a copywriter, and a way that you can ensure that you still get really good launch results even if you do not hire somebody to help you. And if you want to, get a checklist on how to actually fix your offer and make it so you can retain more students, get repeat buyers, and increase your business longevity, then grab my Fix Your Offer checklist. It's in the link below and it's completely free, and let me know how you get on with it. So thank you so much for watching. If this helped you feel more confident about launching, hit like and subscribe for more tips on course creation and marketing.